Thanks for joining us here on the Bearcats Sports Network. It's time to talk football with McKendree head coach Mike Babcock. And coach, the Bearcats are a little over a week into preseason camp. Give me your initial thoughts on how things are progressing so far.
It's hot camp. No, I think that so far I've liked what I've seen. You know, the guys have really come into camp focused and excited, energetic. Obviously, you know, coming into week 2, everyone's a little bit more sore and mentally fatigued and tough, but just have to find a way to continue to grind through it. But overall, I think the first week has been fantastic. Definitely some good things on all sides.
Coach, you had a good, solid finish to spring practice back in April. Has that carried over into preseason practice, especially with the returning guys coming back fighting for positions?
I think so. I think the guys that have had experience, you know, our older guys, I think they're coming back with just a little bit more energy. They understand what they're doing. They're more confident in what they're doing, and I think that kind of has resonated to not only the returners, but even some of the incoming freshmen as well.
You touched on the freshmen, 50-plus newcomers on the Bearcats roster this year. How have the young guys responded to practice so far? What have they shown to you? And are there some guys that might be able to stand out as we head into the new season?
Well, I think every freshman coming in, wherever you're at, it can be a culture shock. You know, just from the physicality, the mental side of things, just the entire day of a college football camp, and it's been kind of gruesome. But now after a week, I think guys are starting to kind of figure it out. I think guys are getting to the point of understanding what it takes in practice, and we do have a couple guys that are starting to make a little bit more headway than some of the others, and I think might have a chance to play on Saturday. Now, granted, we still have another 2 to 3 weeks until our first game, you know, for us to figure that out. But the nice thing is, the greatest thing about this freshman class is they're like sponges. They want to take coaching. They want to get better, and that's the type of attitude that you have to have in order to get better. That you don't know everything. And so a lot of these guys, especially the ones that have an opportunity to play, that's the main thing that they end up having, you know, that some of the other guys may not.
Coach, a little more than 2 weeks out, as you alluded to, towards the season opener against Northern Michigan at home on September 1st. Where does the focus go now? Obviously, you get the new guys integrated into the system, returners trying to settle into a routine. Where does the focus go the next week plus?
Well, a lot of it has to do with the mental side of things. You know, most of the install stuff is done and over with, so now it's about scenario. So all those different things that happen in a game, now we've got to practice those things so that we're ready for it come game time. Whether they happen or not, we're ready to go. We still have some spots that we are still trying to figure out as far as who the starter is, who the backup is, obviously who's going to get on the bus, you know, so those special teams reps, you know, who's your right gunner, who's your left tackle on punt, you know, all those type of questions still have to be answered. And really that's what the next 2 to 3 weeks are all about, and then also just solidifying, hey, what are we doing offensively? What are we doing defensively? What are we doing special teams wise? And just get good at the details so that we can play well on September 1st.
Last question, Coach. What kind of leadership have you seen from your senior class? Nearly 20 seniors this year, especially integrating a high number of freshmen coming in.
You know, I think it's been great. I think a lot of those guys have really just grabbed that young guy and brought him with us, you know, and really have envelop the guys into a true team atmosphere. That's why I love football. I mean, it really brings everybody from every different background into it. And so whether you grew up at in a small town, whether you grew up in the inner city, you know, you're able to come together and work for one goal. And really those seniors are kind of the embodiment of what we're trying to preach here. So they've done a great job so far. I'd expect nothing less from here on out.
Coach, great insight. Thanks for taking time out of your busy schedule for joining us. We'll catch up with you next week.
Appreciate it.
Don't forget, you can follow McKendree Football as well as the rest of McKendree Sports online at mckbearcats.com. Also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and now on Instagram.